How you experience anything depends upon how you hold it. Now, what does that mean? Whatever happened is simply what happened, but when you look at it through the lens of fear, you're not seeing it accurately. You're seeing it as something disturbing, something that should not be happening. But when you see it through the lens of love, you see it as an opportunity for you to grow spiritually. This is another way of saying that you create your experiences of the world. When you choose love, no matter what's going on inside of you or what's going on outside of you, you choose to see the world accurately as it is. When you do that, you live in a loving world. And that's what creating authentic power creates for you. It doesn't change the world. You don't have that power. It changes you. That's how powerful you are. You choose your experiences of the world. What do you choose? Welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about the world and how you see it. When we were 5th century, that was straightforward. The world is the world, you are you. They're different. You either see it or you don't. What you see is what you get. Still, what you see is what you get, but it's not quite so simple or straightforward anymore. That's because there is, in the old consciousness, the consciousness that we are leaving behind, our entire species is leaving behind, has a barrier in it, inside you, between in here and out there. And that barrier is uncrossable, unclimbable. You can't get over it and you can't go around it. What's in here is in here, and what's out there is out there. And from that perspective, it's ridiculous to say that you can change the world by changing yourself, that you can make the world better by impacting it with changes that you make in yourself. But from the new consciousness, that barrier is not there. In fact, that barrier does not exist in the new consciousness, and hundreds of millions of us are now acquiring the new consciousness. In here and out there are not different. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. How you experience anything depends upon how you hold it. Now, what does that mean? It means that suppose an event happens in the world. Say, for example, a child runs out into the street and gets knocked over by someone who's riding a bike, and the child is unconscious. And the parents are upset and disturbed. The child being in the street and being knocked over by a bicycle happened. You can say from one level of perception that it's an illusion, but in the Earth School, it's something that actually happened. How you hold that experience determines how it comes to you. For example, if you see this experience through fear, through the lens of fear, it's a disaster. It's a catastrophe. The child has been hurt. Maybe it's been hurt badly. We don't know. It's something that should not have happened. And that also comes along with all of the experiences of a frightened part of your personality. Painful physical sensations, judgmental, critical thoughts. When you see this from a loving part of your personality, through the lens of love, you see it as it actually is, as it actually happened. In other words, when you see an event in the world through fear, you're seeing it inaccurately. It's an illusion. It's a disaster. It's a catastrophe. When you see it through the lens of love, you're seeing it accurately. You're seeing it as it actually is. A child, a bicycle, an accident. When you see through the lens of love, you see it as an opportunity to grow spiritually for the person who's seeing, and that's you. That's an example of how you experience something depending upon how you hold it. Think of something that happened in your life. Whatever it is that was disturbing to you, someone betrayed you, you had an argument with a parent, you had an argument with a friend, you're upset. Whatever happened is simply what happened. But when you look at it through the lenses of fear, through the lens of fear, jealousy, resentment, competitiveness, superiority, inferiority, you're not seeing it accurately. You're seeing it as something disturbing, something that should not be happening. But when you see it through the lens of love, you see it as an opportunity for you to grow spiritually. And that's what it is. This is another way of saying that you create your experiences of the world. What are your experiences of the world? Is it dog eat dog? Are we hurtling toward self-destruction? Is the entire human species better off destroying itself before it destroys everything? Some people hold that perception. That's a perception of fear. When you see the same circumstances that you see on the news today through the lens of love, you see an opportunity for you to grow spiritually, to challenge a frightened part of your personality and move beyond its control. If you don't, you'll create painful consequences for yourself. And when you encounter those painful consequences, the same thing applies. You'll either react with fear or respond with love. And if you react with fear, you'll create the same thing over. More painful consequences that cause frightened parts of your personality to see them as disasters. And when you see them with love, you see another opportunity for you to grow spiritually, to move beyond the control of a part of your personality that's preventing you from giving the gifts that you were born to give. Now, if you look at this, you'll see there's something very, very powerful at work. You are creating your experiences of the world. Not the world, but your experiences of the world. Is the world really dog eat dog, or is it an opportunity to grow spiritually? It's an opportunity to grow spiritually, but if you're in fear, you don't see that. And you create with more fear. Does this sound familiar? It should, because we've been talking about creating authentic power from the very first podcast. Creating authentic power is the ability to distinguish within yourself between love and fear, and be able to choose love no matter what's going on inside of you or what's going on outside of you. What's going on inside of you might be despondency, hopelessness, anger, rage, jealousy. What's going on outside of you might be another natural disaster, a tsunami or a hurricane. When you choose love, no matter what's going on inside of you or what's going on outside of you, you choose to see the world accurately as it is, an opportunity to grow spiritually. There is nothing that occurs in your life that does not provide you this opportunity. That's the power and the wisdom, the enormity, the beauty of the Earth School. Everything that you experience serves your spiritual development. And it doesn't just happen to be that way. Everything that you experience is not determined by someone or something or some deity that knows more than you do. That's not what determines your experiences. Do you know what does? You do. You determine your experiences with your choices. That means that with your choice of love or fear and your ability to recognize that choice and choose love, you are putting yourself in a position of mastery. You are becoming an artist, and your life is the canvas. And you choose what colors to put on the canvas. It's your life. It's your canvas. You're the painter. You're the artist. If you see through fear, you will see colors that are gray, black, drab, dirty colors. And when you see through the lens of love, you see brilliance, you see radiance, you see delicate pastels and bold primary colors. And that is the world to which you will either respond with love or react with fear. Love is authentic power. Authentic power is love. Creating authentic power is not creating more love in the universe. That's meaningless. The universe is love. You can't create more of it. But you can alter your perception so that you experience more of the love that is the world. So suppose we go back to that example, the child in the street that's hit by a bicycle and is now lying unconscious. When you see through love, when you choose to respond with love, you see the world accurately. And you challenge, if you choose, a frightened part of your personality. And that means you move beyond its control. It still comes. You still feel its painful physical sensations. It still thinks its judgmental, critical thoughts. But you don't need to believe it. You can recognize, and you do because you're multisensory now, that you are experiencing a part of your personality, not the unchangeable ground of your being. And you can choose to see your experiences through another part of your personality, a loving part, a part that's grateful or appreciative or caring or content or in awe of the universe. When you do that, you live in a loving world. And that's what creating authentic power creates for you. It doesn't change the world. You don't have that power. It changes you. You do have that power. That's what you were born to do. You are a chooser. You don't have choice. You are choice. Let your life move you where it's moving. It's always moving you in the direction of love. And it is always moving you to a point of choice again. And in that new point of choice, you have again the same two options, the same two choices that you will always have and always have had and always will have, love or fear. And no one can choose for you. No one. You are the chooser. That's how powerful you are. You choose your experiences of the world. What do you choose? Do you say to yourself, well, this just sounds like a way of fooling myself. I wonder if it's really true or not. That's for you to decide. That's a choice also. What will you believe? That's a choice also. Will you believe your heart or will you believe your fear? Now, this is an interesting question because some people don't know how to tell the difference. And that's where emotional awareness comes in. But that'll be the subject of another podcast. In fact, we've already discussed it and we'll discuss it again. So now I'm going to give you a soul step. Take out your notebook, the one that's in your purse or in your jeans pocket, back pocket, and a pencil. And between now and our next podcast, write down every time you realize that you are seeing the world through fear. And write it down, what the circumstance was, what you experienced. Since you know how to use emotional awareness, if you've listened to podcasts in the past or will listen to it more in the future, write down all of your experiences. And also write down your experiences when you know that you were seeing the world as it actually is, when it was clear to you that what you saw and what you experienced was an opportunity for you to grow spiritually, to create authentic power. And then ask yourself, what can you learn from what you're reading about your experiences? How can you change yourself? And don't worry about changing the world. The world will give you what you are giving yourself. In other words, all of your experiences are karmic necessities. Now what will you do? You are not responsible for the world. You've already created those experiences. You are responsible for your choices now. And your choices are always now, always new, and always love or fear. And while you're doing all of this, enjoy yourself. Enjoy being in the Earth School. Enjoy having experiences in the Earth School. Not only those that feel good to you, but also those that your personality does not want. Pay a special attention to those. That's easy to do because those are the ones that hurt. And I'll see you next time. I'm Gary Zukav.